Hi, this is the Faking Sanity Knitting Podcast, with occasionally a bit of spinning. Not much today. Sorry for the chuckled and swallowed giggles. We were having troubles doing our intro. We kept trying to change our voicemail message.
Hello,
on the
you've
camera.
reached Faking Sanity. Oh no, you've reached us, but yeah.
A little bit different context.
A little.
So we're Faking Sanity. Welcome back for those of you who have joined us before. If this is your first time, we're a little crazy and disorganized, but we love knitting and all things yarny. So stick around and check us out. You can find us on Ravelry at, our group is called Faking Sanity. On Instagram, where we are Faking Sanity. And this is our 5th podcast, so you can check it out. Check it out just under Faking Sanity Podcast.
Well, they found us. Well, they could have found us elsewhere, I guess.
Yeah.
Personal names?
Sure.
I'm Cindy.
I'm Ange.
Instagram, I am Small Town Canadian, CDN, a shortenation of Canadian. And on Ravelry, I am Parian.
And on Ravelry, I'm Montréalaise, MTLAISE. MTL's an abbreviation for Montreal. And on...
You mean shortenation?
No, I don't make up words.
Oh, yeah, right.
Shh. On Instagram, I am Montreal or in DC, so still with the MTL for Montreal, or in DC for Dawson Creek, which is where we are. Yeah. And that's where our shop is, which is where we're recording right now, which is called Faking Sanity, hence the name of the podcast.
Dawson Creek, BC, Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, we were going to bring a map to show where we were. We're way up north.
So a couple of people had talked about friends in BC and maybe they could, pop in, and we're like, they're a day away. So basically, if you're in the States, if you know where the beginning of the Alaska Highway is, you might.
Nobody knows.
That's where Dawson Creek is. So we're about... Well, 3/4 of the way up in British Columbia.
But since everything past Vancouver is considered northern BC, we're in the north.
Actual north.
Yes. Not as far as the territories, Yukon or Northwest Territories, or
Alaska.
Well, actually, I think on the coast, Alaska comes down to about the same height. And anyway, we're north. And it's snowing. It's officially winter here.
It is.
It has been for a while.
It's gray and dreary, and there's snow on the ground that hasn't melted for like a week and a half. So it's officially winter.
Yeah. But that's all right. We have lots of knitting to keep ourselves warm.
Warms.
I can speak.
She's
Don't mind
making up
us.
words again.
We've been really sick. I don't know if you can tell.
The voices are a little off today.
Yeah, we were going to podcast last week, but we were both just dead with the flu. So don't mind us. We might be sniffling and coughing, but we're alive.
But it's not contagious through the screen.
Unfortunately, I got it first and then got her sick. Because we spend way too much time together.
Yeah. But we do have some exciting stuff this week. While we were away, we had a secret thing that we were working on, and when we started out, Faking Sanity was an Etsy shop, and we did Cindy's chainmail, jewelry, and stitch markers, and I did hand-dyed yarns. And one of our bases was this lovely merino and nylon sock yarn. It was really squishy, and I loved it, and we put it on hold to start this brick-and-mortar bookstore yarn cafe thing.
It's a little of everything.
And it's 7 years and we hadn't gotten back to it, but we just got in
our own
yarn again. So this is the rebirth of Faking Sanity Fixation. It's an 80/20 wool nylon yarn. I still don't have time to dye in the quantities we'd need, so this is dyed, if you've heard of the Mineville Wool Project, this is dyed by the Mineville Wool Project, which is the daughter of the lady who does the Fleece Artist and Handmaiden
who started
company.
it, yeah.
And they're beautiful. And so this is, you might notice a theme.
This is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. This is an embarrassment of mangoes. Oh, and so it's stripy and speckly. So
this is The Light Between Oceans, another stripy and speckled, mostly fairly solidly colored, though there's not a lot of white.
Yeah. This is The Blue Jays Dance with the little speckles.
and we've got Orchid Thief. So lots of great, like, limey green speckles and some browns and yellows. They're really nicely done.
This
lots
is
of depth.
The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. And then Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society. So if you may have noticed, all the colorways are book titles.
We thought that suited our shop well.
It's very us.
Yeah.
And this one was really fun because when it first came in, before we had come up with the book title idea, Angel was like, oh, it's a turkey dinner.
It was right after Thanksgiving.
It's got turkey and cranberries and mashed potatoes and gravy.
And mustard, because I like mustard on my turkey.
Mustard on turkey is sacrilege. It's like ketchup on grilled cheeses.
Yeah, that's
so many people do it. Oh, you put mayo on your grilled cheese, you can't talk. Sorry. Sidebar. So we named them each after a book. This is what Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society is one of my favorite books ever. And then we also put a little quote on the back. Well, most of them. I haven't done Embarrassment of Mangoes yet. But I like this quote. You'll like this one.
It's a good one.
Booksellers really are a special breed. No one in their right mind would take up clerking in a bookstore for the salary, and no one in his right mind would want to own one. The margin of profit is too small. So true.
It's true.
So true.
But we love it. We're surrounded by books and yarn.
We're surrounded by, our favorite is things. And tea.
And coffee, which is what I'm drinking today.
Other things.
And no
Some
little
food.
mug for me, because I need it
You
a
need
lot.
the big, all right. Sorry, I'm not advertising Coke, really.
Twice in a row.
I say I'm a Coke addict, and then I have to go, Coca-Cola. Promise, I don't take drugs.
So we're really excited about our new yarn.
We like it.
And we'll be getting more
Different colors?
different colors and bases as we go along. But right now, we just brought
started.
in this fixation for now. And it is, I don't know if you can see just how much that squooshes. It's super plump. And it's like a heavy fingering.
Really heavy, but-
Super plump. Like it just squishes down. Like
it's
like an elastic.
It's
fabulous.
345 meters per 115 grams. So,
Heavy
it could be
fingering to
considered a sport,
sport.
but it's a fingering. And it's so beautiful.
And it's got nylon, so even though it's heavier, it'd be good for socks. It's got a good twist. Like,
I started some socks.
If you can see, the twist on there is really quite high. You can see it on the contrast strand there. So it'd be a nice sock yarn. It would wear really well, and yet it's not crisp. Like it's still a soft yarn.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like,
I like
crisp isn't a word I've heard before. Well, I mean,
crunchy,
I've heard
crisp,
it.
like
stiff. Crunchy. Okay.
Yeah.
I use crunchy all the
It's
time.
so squishy.
I started some socks out of.
I didn't get to see them.
I started them at night on Thursday night, and I did maybe an inch, probably not even that. No, not even that. And my needles were way too big. Because apparently I don't knit as tight as I used to. I used to have to like go up 2 needle sizes. So I ripped it out. But you've got something started.
I do. So I tried like 5 different projects for this. I wanted the perfect project. So this is the Light Between Oceans. And it looks a little sloppy on the edge because I unknit. I actually had a couple of inches done and then unknit it all. So this is my whip. It's 50 stitches cast on and then 1 row knit.
Woot! What are you making?
So I'm going to do the Dragon Scale Scarf by Andrea Jurgrau.
And you've done that one before.
I have, yeah.
Is that the one you showed last week?
No.
In the bamboo? No. Okay.
No.
Never mind.
But yeah, it's just it kind of looks like scales or waves. I thought it'd be nice in the green like that. It's a very busy colorway if you knit it in something really dense like cables or garter. So I really like the look of it in stockinette, which was why I ripped out what I had. And I tried my hand at designing a cowl, but didn't really love playing around with it so much because I was excited. I just want to knit with it. So I tore it out and found a pattern that I knew would look good in it. So I just started this morning, actually about, I don't know, a half hour before we packed up to come record. So you'll see a lot more of that one in the next week or so. But I'm loving knitting it. And it so far has held up well to frogging because I frogged it 4 times. as I tried different socks and then mitts and then a scarf. And yeah, but this will be the keeper.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, I have a whip too.
Yay, whips.
In my pile of crud here. Okay. So, this is, the pattern is Kareen, and I didn't write down the designer. It's fabulous. It's from Ravelry. No, it's from
Pass me your phone.
Knitty. It's from Knitty. It's, I've done it before, and it's a shawl, and it's great. You start at the bottom and do this amazing cable pattern, which I just love. And then, and I'm doing it in a much heavier yarn than it calls for, but I'm gonna make a big squishy wrap for myself. And I'm just gonna go as long as I have yarn for. I had 3 balls of this, and I love this yarn. It is my my fancy looking ball here.
You've rather pulled out the center there.
It is Smitten by Handmaiden, which is Fleece Artist.
Yeah.
And it is a worsted merino and silk, and you can see the little, the white strands are actually the silk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
And they're fabulous. This is the Stardust colorway. And I just love how it's knitting in the
It
cables.
feels
Yeah.
amazing.
And it's just fabulous. I'm doing it really kind of dense, and so that I can have a nice warm shell for curling
That's
up.
gonna be
This is,
fabulous.
I did this pattern for my sister. It was the one that I did for her birthday a couple years ago, and then just found it.
Yeah. The one we talked about that was hanging on her door for a year was
like
this
a year and a
pattern.
half. But yeah, and I pulled it out, and I was like, oh, I remember how much I love doing that, so I am doing the pattern again, because that's what I do. I tend to find a pattern I really, really like and make it over and over and over again.
How many of the
I have made at least 10.
Koolhaas.
I've made at least 10 Koolhaas Hots by Jared Flood.
I was gonna say I think I tend to do 2 or 3 of most patterns I like.
Yeah, that one I have made a lot of. Pretty much everyone I know
Got a gift.
got a Koolhaas at some point.
Yeah.
I think I still have a couple in my, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this knit basket. So yeah, this is my whip. I started it on my trip to Edmonton because I was like, so I went to Edmonton with my mom.
Oh, before you go on to that.
Oh, sorry.
The pattern Kareen is Caireen, and it's by Susanna I.C. on Ravelry.
Yeah, and it looks really complex. Cables are easy. If you've never tried cables, yeah. Unless you have issues reading charts. Some people do. I love charts because I'm a really visual person. But yeah, cables are really simple. And yeah, it's great. Okay, sorry. So I went to Edmonton with my mom. She just had some doctor's appointments down there. So we were going down, we drove down on a Sunday and drove back on a Tuesday. And so I had like 12 hours of uninterrupted knitting time because my mom drives. She doesn't let other people drive her car. She just...
She's not a good passenger.
She's not. She does the whole, brake and gas with her feet in the passenger seat. So she didn't even teach me how to drive because that would not have been a good thing. But I was like, okay, I've got 12 hours of uninterrupted knitting time. I'm going to take, I think I took 6 projects.
It took her 3 days to decide on what she was bringing.
Yeah.
She kept going, maybe this, maybe this,
And
maybe
then
this.
and then I packed my clothes for the trip in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the knitting. But so I got quite a bit of that project done, and I got one finished. So you'll see it. But while I was there, I went yarn shopping.
There's a yarn shop.
There's 3 now.
We actually mentioned a couple of them last time, but there's a new one too.
Not last time, but one of the other times.
yeah.
There's a new yarn shop in Edmonton called the Fibre Nook, and so they opened in September, but their official grand opening was actually the Saturday before I got there.
She went without me.
I went without her. And unfortunately, I have nothing to show from the Fibre Nook because we bought stuff there, but my mom bought it and it's going to be
Apparently
Christmas
it's
presents.
Christmas presents, and I'm not allowed to see, and
Yeah.
it kills me.
So, yeah, I got 2 Christmas presents and Angel got, she'll find out at Christmas, so you'll see.
So mean.
I am
Her
so
and her
mean.
mother.
I am so mean. It's great. But yeah, it was a great store. It had some of the kind of standard things you see everywhere, but it had a lot of stuff I hadn't seen before at all. Some hand-dyed stuff, gorgeous stuff. And it was really open and
I like a
light,
nice open story.
and I really liked it. And the guy who was working was fabulous. And I wish I had something to show you from it because it was really cool, but after Christmas.
We'll talk about it more, I'm
Ooh,
sure.
one of the things I did have was Dream in Color, which
you've
used
always
to be,
loved that.
It used to be my favorite yarn ever. I can't really afford it anymore, but I still have quite a bit in my stash. I actually bought 2 sweaters worth of Dream in Color Classy, way back when I, had a job that paid money.
I didn't remember that. I remember the one. But...
I have the wine color. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I had the wine colored and the black watch.
Oh, I forgot
But
about that one.
I was like, oh, I'm never going to knit 2 sweaters. So I ended up splitting up the Vino Veritas and
Doing smaller
I think
projects.
I made some hats and I think I swapped some and but it's a
great,
really, and it's even
squishy
nicer
yarn.
now.
It's really nice.
It's even nicer now. I love it. I've knit a few cool hats out of Dream in Color.
Yes.
But I actually have in my queue, I am going to do a sweater out of one of the batches. Okay, so that was the first yarn shop I went to. I went with Mom to that one, and then while she was at one of her appointments, I went to River City, and I got just this cool
I've
thing.
never seen these
So,
before.
It's like a sock blank, but it's only like this wide, and but they basically you can use it to dye like stripes or whatever you want to do with your sock blank.
Yeah.
So it is called Magic Kettle, Borgo di Pazzi. It's Italian. And it's even got like where to start. So that's my end to start. And they had a pair of socks knit up in it in a rainbow colorway,
Oh, that'd
which
be cool.
they didn't have the rainbow.
Yeah.
Because I would have got the rainbow because I'm all about the rainbows. But I love this. You'll see a pattern in all of my yarn, greens and blues.
The color is
Yeah.
fairly consistent.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a kind of like crunchy.
No, it feels
not crunchy,
It feels a bit
but-
like BFL. Like it's soft,
Yeah.
but it's not scratchy, but it's got a little more body to it than
Yeah,
Merino.
and it's 75 wool, 25 nylon. But yeah, it just made great little micro stripes because basically you unwind it and then knit it into, and I'm gonna make actual socks out of it. So yeah, that was from River City. I also got a pattern there, which I forgot to bring.
right,
it was-
because it's on the table. I was
Yeah.
going to knit this out of it, but I
Yeah, I
changed
don't
my
know.
mind.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll work, but it's the Ridges and Peaks cowl by Ann Budd. So I got it's the first like actual paper pattern I've bought in about 10 years.
I was gonna say my last
Felt
one was
really
in Calgary.
strange.
Yeah.
Felt really strange because I
Buy
mean I buy
everything
patterns
on
on
Calgary
Ravelry
now.
On
Or-
Calgary.
On Ravelry now.
On Ravelry, yeah.
My brain's still a little bit fuzzy,
Yeah,
guys.
well,
Sorry.
We don't really have anywhere to buy patterns up here.
yeah.
Well, we have books.
Yeah.
We have books and magazines. So that was at River City. And then on the way out of Edmonton, we stopped in one of the S ones. Stony Plain or Spruce Grove?
Stony Plain.
Thanks. No?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, Stony Plain. Sure. We went to Joe's Yarn Garden, which used to be Pam's woolly shop, but Pam
so-
retired.
Yeah, we talked about that one before. So Joe's Yarn Garden, it's one of the employees who's worked there forever and has bought it. So
Yeah.
it's continuing on a lot of similar stuff.
It's exactly the same as
Yeah.
I love it. It's a great store and it's packed full of stuff.
Yeah.
And I almost got her some Fibre, but I said nah. She doesn't deserve anything.
Hey!
So
I don't need any is perhaps more accurate.
I've seen how many bins of Fibre you have.
don't have that much. You just can't squish it as much, so it takes more space.
Sure. So I went Estelle shopping.
So you might remember her Hudson's Bay hat. We had talked about how it was uber Canadian and it was kind of like an epically Canadian color set done by the Bay for years and years.
So I bought a whole bunch of the same yarn I had knit that hat in to knit more Hudson's Bay hats or maybe Hudson's Bay scarves. I don't know.
Oh.
But I really, really, really liked my hat.
as
I should have brought my hat. You were right. I should have brought my hat. But I had shown it on here before, so.
But you can make two
so it's
gorgeous scarves out of that.
So I've got a bunch of the cream, and then so it's mainly cream with just little stripes of each of those 4 colors.
And it's a nice yarn. Like,
it
it's
is really
super
nice.
Soft. Just a little tiny bit of a halo. It's loosely spun.
Yeah,
it's just squish.
Yeah.
Squish.
And the
squish.
colors are leapfrog. I think this is just navy. That's no fun. Navy, goldenrod, and cardinal. And then
that's a
ecru
true cardinal red. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my project for, I don't know, sometime. I have a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
But I bought that, and then as I was walking out, I couldn't resist this.
Okay, I love this one. Just love it.
Oh, it's so pretty.
It is.
So pretty. Oh, this might look good as the Peaks and Ridges cowl. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, it's the wrong weight, but I
you could
hack
French
patterns
that
all the time.
easily.
So
4-stitch repeat.
This is a Manos del Uruguay, Alegria Grande.
Yeah.
And this is Fondo del Mar, so something of the sea.
Bottom of the sea.
Bottom of the sea, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Fondo?
I think so.
Like that fondue? Sorry.
No, I'm pretty sure it means bottom of the sea.
It's-
My Spanish is minimal, but I think it's bottom of
Well,
the
what's
sea.
bottom in French?
Fond?
There you go. Yeah.
So it
she's
might
probably
be.
right. Yeah. I
It's
couldn't
gorgeous.
resist this. I love
the bright green next to this tealy, like deep dark
it's
teal.
got teals and blues and the greens, and I'm really excited about this.
It's gorgeous.
You might notice that, like, everything I own.
Blues and greens this year.
Yeah. I think it'll probably be for me, so I don't know.
You should.
It'll probably be a hat, because that's what I do. I wear
what
a
you
lot
wear
of
the
hats now.
most. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and Manos del Uruguay is another one of my old favorites.
Their bases have gotten so much nicer. I always loved their colors, but I only went to their bases occasionally because they were more rustic.
Yeah.
And
we talked about this on the podcast
but
before.
their new ones are fabulous.
They are.
I
They're
love them.
so squishy and soft. And like I have issues with what's against my neck. Like I couldn't wear this against my neck. I would snap and kill someone.
Me,
This
most
I feel like
likely. Because I'd be next
Oh, I
to
just
her.
got fuzz in my mouth. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm trying to eat my arm. Ugh. Nom 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 nom.
That sounded like eat your arm.
No, eat your arm. Eat my yarn. Yeah. So
High fiber diet.
that's probably what I need. Excuse me. Don't mind us. We're crazy.
Yeah.
So
You
yeah.
did mention that, right? It's
So those were my yarn acquisitions. But I had a really good trip with my mom.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was sad to be left all alone.
And I didn't bring you back anything.
Nothing I could look at. She wouldn't even give
Well,
me a
you
hint
could-
at what she
You
brought.
can look at these.
Yeah, it's not mine.
But she got something nice for us.
Yeah. You want to move into FOs?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
I can talk for 1 more minute.
Sure.
I finished something on the trip.
It's so cute.
So
It's ridiculous.
I have a 5-year-old niece, and last Christmas I got this. I got the yarn. It comes ball of yarn and the lovely little
Stuffy pom pom.
yeah. I got it for Christmas because she saw it, and apparently, anytime she sees something that she likes knit or crocheted or even sewn, she goes, "Oh, maybe Auntie Cindy can make it for me." Luckily, my sister, I don't know, limits her. So yeah, so I got the yarn for Christmas last year. It's a top this, and it just comes. It's got like terry cloth. I don't know, but yeah, and it's for a 5-year-old, but it fits me.
But, I mean,
It's really cute.
crazy.
I am crazy, but it is really cute. So I finished
She'll
that.
like it.
She'll like it. She can.
You should
now
make
I've
sure
got- now
Linda
I've got
doesn't
spectacular
watch
hair.
this at home while...
Linda doesn't watch our podcast.
Okay.
No. It's definitely not feminist enough for her.
Oh. I thought the same
Sister's
for
a-
my parents, not the feminist bit, but they wouldn't watch, and apparently they do, so...
Yes, my sister doesn't get that knitting or any kind of fiber arts can be feminist. But yeah, so
It's so cute.
this is for my
and
niece.
she will love that.
For Christmas or her birthday or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she gave me the yarn, and I'll give her back the hat. And yeah, fix my hair. Okay, so now you can go on to whips.
Okay. You mean FOs? We already did whips.
You didn't talk about that whip.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. No, go back. It's fine. Go back.
Okay. So one of my whips last time was my returning shawl by who is it by? Morgan.
You didn't write it down.
No, I did. Danielle Morgan is the designer, and it starts out with just a stockinette triangle, so it's not super impressive to look at.
I can hold it while you talk.
I didn't have stitch markers with me when I knit in the second color, which is the deep blue.
You did it here. There's like a whole
I
bin
didn't
of
wanna
stitch
buy
markers.
some
You
when
don't
I
need
have
to buy
tons
them.
at
They're
home.
mine. Just take them.
So it's my Handspun Haunui, and I love it. And it starts out with just a little 4-color garter strip. 4-row color strip before you work it in the third color. And I was spinning the dark brown Shetland to go with it. So it was going to be this taupey kind of grayish brown, the dark blue, and then a deep, deep chocolate brown next to it. And as I started spinning it, I realized that the fiber, which I bought, I think about 10 years ago, was no good. It was scurfy and dirty and gross.
I
And
had never heard the term scurfy before. Makes me think of scurvy.
It's sheep dandruff is maybe the easiest way to describe it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just not spinnable. It's just not good. But so I debated for a while what to do next, and
then
choked down
people.
my hatred of shipping costs and made a small order to get more Haunui, because I thought if I'm going to buy more fiber, because I have nothing else that's dark brown or black, and bought another skein of the just dark brown natural black Haunui. And
so it'll be all Haunui.
Well, it could, but after I placed the order, somebody on the Sweets Off the Wheel group on Ravelry said, I actually have some of that black Shetland you had bought at the same shop in the same period, and it's fine. And she was like, I have a couple of sweater quantities, so I'll send you a bag. And sent it off that day. And I'm really enjoying the project and really wanting to get back to it, so I might still do the Shetland and just knit it off of that. Cause,
that's very cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not like you won't use the Haunui.
No, and my knitting mojo had been gone for like a year, so to be excited about a
mojo
knitting
back.
project was kind
Yay.
of cool. So I might just start that one again. Sorry, my voice is starting to go again.
Oh, well, you got to talk about your FOs.
I know.
Because you got your knitting mojo back.
So my FOs, I had talked about wanting to do some hats for the cancer ward. And the grocery girls were having a tin can knits along right now, so I thought, why not combine the two? So you had seen the gather hat I was in progress on. So just the wrapped stitches go around, like you can smock around any number of stitches, but I only modified it right at the top. I decreased the space between the last two so that I could decrease a bit faster because it was getting too long, I thought. So that's the gather hat.
I love that color.
So, and I just love that smocking detail. It looks really cool. And I wanted a shorter hat because I figured if you have no hair to hold on to it, you can't slouch it at all. So,
yeah.
So that's the Gather Hat by Tin Can Knits. It's patterned on Ravelry. It's fabulous. If you haven't knit any of her stuff, it's totally great. Oh yeah, it's two ladies.
Yeah.
And then I had this ball of Merino 3/6 from Fleece Artist in the Nova Scotia colorway. It's such a squishy yarn. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
So I knit a second hat out of the same yarn because I didn't want to put it away. So I just knit the barley hat, which is out of her like basic Learn to Knit collection.
And you haven't blocked them yet, right?
No, this isn't blocked yet. This one's a little bit longer. But it just has stockinette and garter over about a quarter of it, and it's so comfy and it sits down so nice. And again, this one I did do a mod. It calls for a ribbed brim, but I like a garter stitch brim on this one. I've done it before once and really liked it, so just did the garter stitch brim, and it flows into the garter section really nicely. And I knew it would fit because I had the stitch count from this one, so I didn't have to worry about ribbing to make it stretch to fit properly. Because this one I was debating keeping for myself, but I think I'm just going to put both of these into the cancer ward bin. So I've got two of my hats done besides the one I already had done in the last podcast. So not quite the pace I had hoped to get, but we were really sick for a week. I didn't even knit most of those days at all, like not even a stitch. So I'll get back on track with that.
Yeah.
So that's my FOs.
Okay, I have 2 more. So these are both from my Whip Lucky Dip the last couple weeks, last couple podcasts. I was bad and didn't block or finish the first one. Okay, so this is the first one. And it is a cowl. It's the Simple Yet Effective Cowl by Tin Can Knits.
Yeah.
We have a bit of a Tin Can Knits thing going right now. So, and it's this lovely gradient that she spun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually, the fiber is the fine... It's the Merino. I couldn't remember if it was the fine Haunui. It's the Merino from Heavenly Wools, which is where I get the Haunui. She has fabulous colors. Like,
She
I just
does,
love her colors.
and it's so nice and soft. You did a really, she spins really well.
I enjoy spinning.
Yeah,
It's my zen
and
place.
it's the inky mix color.
Yep.
And I made it for my mom for Christmas. She doesn't watch the podcast, so we're fine. Oh, and I think she already knew.
Well, I was gonna say, and she knows she's getting it because you had asked her if she liked the colorway when I had it in the ball.
She's probably forgotten.
Oh, I'm
Doesn't
sure.
matter. But yeah, so I blocked it, and it's so nice and
so
soft, and
squishy. You
love
could
the
actually wear this.
I could easily wear this. Yeah, I'm just really picky about what goes around my neck. But this, yeah, it's lovely.
I was thinking I might knit one of these and just at the end, I like the split at the bottom that a lot of cowls are doing. So it sits a little flatter on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And I was thinking I might knit this for myself and just knit flat back and forth.
For the bottom.
For the last 2 inches, so it sits a
2
little
inches.
flatter.
Oops, I've already got lovely gray hairs all over it, but that's all right. My mom has completely white hair, so she won't even know it's not hers.
Nope.
So there's that. And then there's
I love this one.
the aphasia, which it was another one of my Whip Lucky Dips.
Show better with white behind it.
Doesn't really matter. It's just a little lacy thing.
There, it's showing well.
Okay.
There.
And our faces are even whiter than usual.
Yeah, but you gotta show the knits. Who cares what they look like?
So yeah, I blocked it last night. I was a little
She
behind.
was so last minute.
I was so last minute. But
it's dry.
I did block it. Oh yeah, totally. I just spray blocked it. I did block it wider and shorter than I had planned, just because that's what the lace look nice as.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be great because I can just wear it as a scarf tucked into my jacket.
Yeah. And then you don't have the extra bulk in your jacket.
Yeah, I might. Nope, can't do
short
the
for
double
that.
over. Yeah, I'm gonna try it out. If I decide I'd rather it longer,
You can always block it.
I'll just
for
reblock
length.
it.
Yeah.
So I can just reblock it and stretch it the other way.
It's not dense at all. You could totally add 6 or 8 inches easily.
I'm not someone who really opens up their lace drastically.
Yeah.
I quite like
Squishy.
I'm all about the squishy. So yeah, this is it's Fleece Artist Nyoni.
Yeah.
Fleece Artist or Handmaiden, one of the two.
This one was Fleece Artist.
Okay. You turned over my paper.
Sorry.
Oh right, and they didn't have colorways then, but I think it's pretty close to the blackberry they have now.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Sure.
It's got more black. The blackberry doesn't have much black. But it's beautiful.
Anyway, it's really, really nice. The pattern is Aphasia by Patty Waters. And it was really simple. It's
Well, that's showing it off nicely.
it would be a good starter lace, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing super complicated. You just have to be able to count. I think the big thing with
Counting.
The big thing with lace is it's intimidating, but it's not hard. The big thing is don't do it in a room full of people where if you have to count 10 before you do something, you get to 7, forget where you are, and say 6 or 8, because then you throw off
I think
your
the
lace.
other thing is the dropping stitches. People get really scared about dropping stitches on lace because it is much harder to pick up. I on my cable project, I miscrossed a cable and I dropped down 4 rows, fixed the cable, brought it back up. People look at me strange when I do that. I can do that.
A lot of people do
lace is a little harder to do that in.
Yeah.
But lifelines are a fabulous thing.
Lifelines are
Google
wonderful
lifelines.
things.
Yeah.
We'll probably I'll have some lace at some point. I'll show
I'll show
some.
you. Yeah. But yeah, so those were my Whip Lucky Dips. that I finished. So now...
A new whip lucky dip.
Yeah. Should we
Okay.
explain it since I've been talking about
Yeah.
it and there might be new people?
So Cindy has, much like I do, a tendency to start projects and then put them aside.
And usually,
so
it's when
most
they're
people-
almost done. No.
What?
I was talking. I know you were talking first.
Okay.
It's my thing. It's fine. You can go on. Some people.
I was gonna say this, but
Oh yeah,
go
talk
ahead.
about yours.
No.
You finished something that she had started many
I was
years
gonna
ago,
say,
just
we've-
like I do.
We've talked about her whip lucky dip bag because she has so many of them, but I do too. I'm really bad for it. I enjoy the knitting, and once it's done, it gets set aside. And this is so incredibly soft. Cindy's mom was actually in Florida a couple of years ago, and
She goes every year.
went to a yarn shop and sent us a picture of a wall of yarn and said, if there's anything here you like, let me know. And I recognized a label. I couldn't see the yarn, but I saw the label hanging off the side, and I was like, is that Zen Yarn Garden? Which is Canadian, so it's kind of funny to go to the States to buy Canadian yarn, but I hadn't seen any in ages, and I love Roxanne's dyeing. So I knit this right away because I was so excited about it. It's Nurmilin 2, which is by Heidi Allender, and the yarn is the Zen Yarn Garden Serenity Silk Single in Arctic colorway, and it's just gorgeous. Got a bit of tans and taupes and browns, but then blues and grays, and it's just beautiful. Oh, I'm showing it backwards. So it's just an asymmetrical triangle with garter stitch and lace bands. I just modified it a tiny bit. I added a little bit of length to the last one, and I didn't do the picot bind off because I don't really like a picot. But it's just gorgeous, and the silk, like, it's 100% silk. It's just dreamy to wear, and I love it. So as much as I mock Cindy for her whip lucky dip bag, I'm really no better.
So my whip lucky dip, I have many projects that are pretty close to being done. Like both those projects, I just had to block and weave in ends. So put them in here. Angel gets to pick out one of them, and I will have it done by the next time. So
That's where I was with this. It was even blocked. I just had to weave in the ends.
Blocking is like the last thing I do.
I finished this morning. I wove in the ends because I wanted something to wear around my neck. So we're going to dig around for the bottom and see what surprise from 10 years ago will come out.
Not all of them are 10 years. I think there was just the one that was like
this
2011.
This might be an older one.
Oh, hey! Speaking of,
Oh, yeah.
Angel's dying. No, Angel isn't dying.
Angel's dying D-Y-E.
She used to dye yarn.
Yeah.
And this was one, it was actually just a sample
It was
that
a
you
prototype.
got
Yeah, it was a new base.
to try out a base. And this was my first ever time that I looked at a pink and went, ooh, I want that. Because I used to be very anti-pink.
I was really surprised that you liked that one.
I know. Okay, so, it's a Merino C-cell base. The base was called Faking Sanity Neurosis, because all of her bases
We're all mental health or mood names.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And the pattern is Tudor Grace by Anne Hansen.
She's one of my favorites.
Yeah. I haven't done any of hers lately, but I really like her lace.
Yeah.
And it's just a really simple...
And super well written patterns.
Yeah. And it's another scarf. I'm like, what's it called?
Yeah.
Ooh, and it's soft enough for me to wear. I don't know if pink is really my color.
It looks okay. Adds a little color to you today when you look a little pale.
When I look like
both looking
I
a
look
little
like a bit like a zombie.
gray or
Yeah, so apparently I started it May 31st, 2010.
which is when we were last dyeing, was 2010 before we opened the shop here. So
And I finished it about then. And actually, that was just before we came up here and ended up opening a store, because we came up in June of...
oh yeah,
Actually, I possibly started it
on the trip.
while we were coming up to visit my mom, and that ended up that ended up
Yeah, I
with
think
us
it would be.
starting a business 3 months later.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it is, even the ends are woven in, all it needs is blocking. So you'll see how lovely it blocks.
And
next
Cecil
time.
blocks out really nice.
Yeah. So yeah.
I don't
you'll see
enjoy
it next time.
spinning it, but man, do I love knitting with blends that have it in
Yeah.
it.
And yeah, it's a really nice dye job, because it just has that,
Thanks.
it just has that bit of kind of raspberry color in it. But it doesn't take away from the lace.
Yeah, and it's just a simple medallion lace all the way down.
Yeah.
It's really classic looking.
Yep. So,
I love enhancement patterns. If you haven't tried them, they're so well written. And like in that one, it was my first enhancement pattern, was that Tudor Grace. And she has tips on, you know, this is how you do this stitch. I'm not going to give away details, but this is how you do this stitch. But for nearly the same look and way easier to do, you can do this and it works just as nicely. And so she kind of gives you like different options, and they're so well written and so clear, and I really love that one.
Yeah.
So I've knit a couple of those. We actually lost one on that trip, I think.
no. That wasn't the trip
the
where we.
previous trip,
That
yeah.
wasn't the trip where we rolled the car, and
I've knit a
that
couple
was
of the
in
Tudor
that was
Graces.
in February of that year.
Yeah, it was a crazy year.
It really was.
Rolled
We
a car, bought a business,
rolled a car,
moved, changed provinces, moved
you quit a job that you'd been at for like 20
12
years.
years.
Oh,
12 years.
12. Okay,
Yeah.
feels like longer.
Did. But
Yeah.
yeah. So that was Whip Lucky Dip. Well, I think that
Culture
just
Consume?
about covers it. So we usually end our podcast with our
After Culture Consumed, we have
exciting
surprise.
news.
Should we make them stick around?
Oh,
through
yeah.
Culture Consumed.
No, let's
let's talk about it
end
first.
the knitting content.
So 3 weeks ago, we were like, okay, we're going to do a prize at a certain number of subscribed. And we had decided that the subscribe number was going to be 250.
We blew past it in the 3
Way
weeks that
past
we waited
it.
for this. We're over 300 now, so thanks so much to everyone who subscribed.
Well, and I think it was a good deal due to Cozy Up with the Stitch and Sisters talking about us.
Yeah,
So
so-
thanks, guys.
Thanks so much for the mention.
So we're doing a draw. For a package to go out. It's going to have some yarn and some...
It'll have a whole
stuff.
bunch of stuff from
us?
From us. There'll be some handmade stitch markers and maybe some soap. We'll ask questions about allergies and stuff if that's an issue,
Yeah.
or teas. But there'll be some yarn, and we're not going to show any of it, so it's a bit of a surprise, but it'll be a nice surprise package.
I hope so. And so we're going to have a thread on the Ravelry group, a post on Instagram, and here. You can comment any one of those 3 places or all 3 if you want.
And you'll get 1 entry into the draw for one comment on any of those threads. So we'll put up the thread on Instagram and Ravelry later today, and you can comment on the video on YouTube as well, and you'll get 3 entries if you comment
do
on
all
all
3
3
places.
Yeah.
'Cause-
And then the next
sure.
podcast we'll announce the winner.
Yeah. We can't wait. But it was really fun. We were watching our subscriber count and it doubled. It more than doubled since the last podcast. So thanks, guys. That's scary.
It was very exciting.
It's really
though.
cool, but
Yeah.
you like us.
That's weird. Are you feeling okay?
Yeah.
We're just, but really, we're so appreciative.
Yeah.
We're so
we wanna
appreciative
send
for the
some-
mention, and we're so
some fun
appreciative that you want to spend time with us and listen to our crazy babbling about Star Trek last time and hockey the time before that.
And both of them again today.
So yeah,
Culture Consumed.
welcome, and we'll have a prize for you next episode.
Yes.
And that leads us to our final segment, which is not knitting related at all. So if you want to tune out here, feel free. Have a great day. We'd love to see you again next time.
You're letting people off the hook. Listen to us talk about hockey.
Our Culture Consume does include a little bit of hockey today.
Yes.
So I brought a prop. He's my little Carrie Price.
I should have brought my little Sidney Crosby. Oh, I totally forgot.
This was Christmas present from Cindy last year, and he even has Carey Price's number on the back. He's my favorite goalie. He's the goalie for my team. He's hurt right now, and my team is sucking right now, so I'm not really enjoying.
They were sucking before he was hurt.
Lots of hockey right now. On the NHL.
On the NHL, but
we got in live hockey this week, which was part of our culture consume for both of us.
Yeah, so the World Under 17 Hockey Challenge came to Dawson Creek in Fort St. John. So it's 16-year-old boys who play hockey. Yeah.
So kind of the best. I just bit my cheek.
Oh,
the best players from each of these 6 countries. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4,
6, because and then there's 3 Canadian.
Yeah. Five countries.
The U.S., the Czech Republic. Okay, U.S., Czech Republic, Finland, Sweden, Russia, and 3 Canadian teams because there's too many
Canadians that are
Canadian players. Yeah. So we got in. Well, I got in. I went to 6 live games, and you went to 5. You went to 5.
Did I go to 5?
Yeah.
I was thinking 4.
2 last Sunday, 1 Monday, 2 Friday.
Yeah.
It was loads of fun.
We weren't feeling great. We basically sat in our seats and didn't cheer because we were so exhausted. But it was a lot of fun.
Yay.
And it's so much fun to watch the games and then see them live and see the energy, but also watch kind of 2 years down the road some of these kids get drafted and see like how much better they've gotten in that 2-year period and stuff.
So this happened 2 years ago, and we loved this little Czech goalie. I get little. They're all way taller than me, but they're still. I mean, they're 16
they're
and
young.
They're 16 and under. Yeah. So yeah, 2 years ago there was this Czech goalie that we loved, and then this year again, I really liked the Czech goalie. One of them.
The Czech team was really fun to watch.
They were a really fun team to watch. This Czech goalie, he was the youngest guy in the tournament. He was only 15. And
you have to be really good to be picked over the 16-year-olds who have a year extra of experience. And
well, like Connor McDavid went at 15.
Yeah.
Because, he's good.
And they were playing against the U.S. Okay, the last gold medal game was Czech versus U.S.
No, it wasn't.
No,
it was Canada
One
Red.
of the teams they were playing against the U.S.
Yeah, Canada Red versus U.S. was the gold medal game, which I didn't go to. I went to the bronze medal yesterday.
But yeah, their goalie stood out.
Yeah.
As being really good. So that's always fun.
And it was so much fun. And okay, so we're Canadian. We absolutely cannot cheer for the U.S. team.
Yeah.
It's just
guys.
in our makeup because there is such a rivalry.
Cheer for individual players.
I will happily cheer for the Czech team. I will cheer for the Swedish team. We cannot cheer for the U.S. team.
We won't boo.
No, we don't.
It's not that we are against anyone.
No.
I mean, if there's a big team rivalry,
I cheered their goals. They were pretty goals. Yeah. But okay, the U.S. team this year was amazing.
They were.
They're hockey development program, so they actually play together year round.
And it showed that first day, especially when everybody else was kind of rusty and learning the
everybody
system
else
and learning to play together.
They
were just
passes weren't making it and stuff. The U.S. team looked sharp. We watched them just slaughter teams.
They were cut above,
which they won gold, which it was not surprising at all. We saw them their second game, I guess their first game in the actual tournament, but they had done a preliminary game.
Yeah,
and they were just amazing to watch. But they're American. Sorry, the rivalry can especially if you're watching women's hockey, which I want the women. One year we had the under 18 Canadian women's hockey challenge, whatever it was called. Yeah. Here, it was fabulous. Really we love the women's hockey too. Unfortunately, we don't get to watch hockey most of the year. The only teams we could watch is the Junior Canucks, which is our local junior team. They're.
You go for the pierogies, not the hockey.
You go for the pierogies, not the hockey. The one game we went to, there were more penalty minutes than minutes in the game. So, yeah. I knew it was amusing, but not good hockey. So
so that was
our big culture this week.
We were pretty sick, so we didn't do a lot of other things. I spent a few days in bed. So
yes, I worked while she was.
But we had some promotional tickets, so we got in a few extra games once we were feeling better. Yeah. So that was...
But we also watched. Well, you watched a bunch of stuff because you were sick.
I did. I caught up completely on the Grocery Girls. I've watched. So
that's 50 episodes, isn't it?
66.
Jeez.
And average is just over 2 hours for most of them. So I watched a lot of TV. So when did I start watching them? At the beginning of the podcast. So maybe like a month or two ago. And in 2 months, I've mainlined it and finished, I don't know, 120, 125 hours.
I'm so far behind on all of my... But mine, no.
I started a couple new ones. I'm really enjoying Skein Knits, which is this lovely, sweet little younger than me, Norwegian knitter who's living in London for her PhD, and she has these amazing, like, just, throwing together this sweater, and it's steeked, and it's like a traditional Norwegian sweater.
And
it's
color work.
Just beautiful. And then another one called the Stranded Podcast, which is another... she's a Etsy dyer. She used to be from London. She lives on the south of England now. But yeah, she's fabulous, and I really like her colors, and it's just fun.
I'm just behind on the ones that I normally watch. Yeah. So
mostly I've been watching TV I've seen before. It's kind of a guilty pleasure because I can sit and knit while I do it, and especially when I was trying to figure out a cowl pattern to design for that yarn, I wanted something I could pay attention to a little less. So I started rewatching Death in Paradise, which is this fabulous, fabulous show. It's on Netflix too, so it's easily accessible for us. And it's got Ben Miller, who's one of my favorite British comedians, because he's a physicist who gave up his career in physics to become a comedian / actor, which I think is funny. But he's adorable, and he plays
fabulous.
The grumpy, straight-laced British man to a T.
Yeah.
Like, he has that part down pat, and it's so funny. And he's playing a cop who's been transferred to the Caribbean on this small made-up island in the Caribbean called Saint Marie. And
French people.
And he's partnered with this woman that they get off on the wrong foot right from the beginning, and she's French and he's English, and those are about the two worst things either of them can think of as a partner to work with, and they're stuck working with each other.
They're really cute.
Solving crimes, and they're fabulous. The actors are incredible, and the storylines are really cute. It's like reading a really good Agatha Christie mystery, but better. So
yeah.
And I have a secret love for Ben Miller.
It's not secret at all.
Primeval days, he did a show where he played the stuffy British suit. He does it so well.
He does. Yeah.
And with holes in time and space that bring dinosaurs through to London, because I love a bad B movie, and that pretty much did it.
She was telling me about this terrible B movie she was watching yesterday.
That one wasn't a good B movie. It was just bad.
Oh, I didn't bring my book. I didn't bring my book over, but I started a book yesterday at the hockey game in intermissions. People were looking at me strangely.
We were knitting in the other games.
Yes. Yeah, well, until the guys checking our bags at the front were like, you might not want to bring your knitting. Like,
they were worried about a safety issue for knitting needles
if you're
at a hockey game.
letting people bring pens in, let us bring our knitting needles. Anyway,
I will be less dangerous with them than without.
Yes. So yeah, I was reading a book called Serpentine by Cindy Pon, which is awesome. It's a teen novel, and it's based on Chinese mythology. So I'll probably tell you more about it next time, because I'll actually have finished it. But
you haven't told me about that one, but
I just started.
I'd be interested.
I asked for it for Christmas last year from Mom. Mom still thinks it's really strange to buy me books, but because we have a few thousand,
only 26,000 or so.
But yeah, I really wanted to read that, and we didn't have it in. Yeah. And I've been watching Star Trek Voyager.
I thought that's what I heard
this morning. I'm close to the end of season 3. I've forgotten how long seasons used to be.
Yeah. Well, especially American shows.
Well, yeah. Okay, so I watch a lot of British shows, which is usually 6 or 13 episodes. But, okay, fine, I watch Canadian and American stuff too, and they're usually 20, 21. Back then, they were like 26 episodes long. But yeah, I'm still enjoying it. It's so fun. I haven't got into the 7 of 9 years.
I loved 7.
I like the concept of 7. I think she took a lot of screen time away from other characters. Yeah. So, but I'm really enjoying it so far. Yeah, I think that was all my culture. I've been getting home and just falling asleep because it was a short week. It was only 4 days long, but she was sick for 2 of them, and it was crazy. So yeah.
I was sick in bed. You were slaving while not feeling really well.
Not feeling great, yeah.
So I think that's it for us today.
Yeah. We're almost at an hour. Oh,
yeah.
God. Yeah.
So we'll leave you with that, I think, and we'll talk to you next time.
Comment.
We'll have less hockey content and a bit more knitting next time. And
maybe.
Oh, sure.
Sorry, my nose is itchy.
I'll at least have more done on my whip so that it looks like something.
I might be done this one.
Yeah.
And I started socks with this, and I have my rainbows. I have so many whips, as always.
It's how you end up with 67 is you start a bunch of stuff. So.
I really need to organize all my stuff. And yeah, a couple years ago I counted up all my whips and there was like 67. No, 68.
68.
Oh, a lot of them anyway. So that's why I'm doing the whip lucky dip.
Yeah.
But comment here or on Ravelry or on Instagram.
Yeah.
And get your name put into the draw.
And you'll get one entry for every comment. Like, not every comment, multiple comments in one thread won't.
Yeah.
But you'll get an entry for a
each
comment
place.
in each of those places.
Yes.
And we'll draw...
Probably because we won't even know that you're the same person. But
we will draw from those 3 comments. The next time we come on, we'll draw just before the podcast and announce it on the podcast. So have a great couple of weeks, and we will see you soon.
We'll hopefully be back in a couple of weeks.
Happy Thanksgiving to our American friends.
Oh, that's coming up, isn't it? And happy Remembrance Day.
Happy's weird.
Happy's really weird. I hope you
this
had
weekend
a
was Remembrance
good
Day,
Remembrance Day.
Yeah. It's always... I think as we get further and further from
Major
the
wars,
it's more important to take the time to remember what was sacrificed for the life that we lead
what
now.
still
and
is.
What still is. And all the active service members, we really appreciate,
Yes.
what people are willing to give up so that others can have a good, safe, peaceful life. And we're lucky here.
Yes.
We're pretty lucky in Canada and at this day and age.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will leave you with that. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Pew.